Hi, my name is Neil and my ancestry derives from northern India. The first domestication of cows appeared in India with the arrival of the Aryan nomads in 2000 BCE. The Vedic civilization that ruled in northern India from 1750 to 500 BCE relied heavily on the cow and the dairy products that it produced. This was reinforced by the Vedas, which are the religious laws in India.
Hello, I'm Jared and my ancestry derives from the Hebrews. In the period from 1700 BCE to 63 BCE, ancient Hebrews held milk in high favor. The earliest Hebrew scriptures contain evidence of widespread use of milk from very early times. The Hebrews moved into Palestinian land and began to use the dairy products due to the land's high fertility and ability to support cattle life. However, the Aroch, which are ancestors of modern cows, were first domesticated about 8,000 to 10,000 years ago in the Fertile Crescent. This may suggest that Hebrews in Mesopotamia may have started drinking milk even earlier than 1700 BCE.
Hi, I'm Max, and my ancestry derives from the Germans and Central Europeans. Dairy farmers in Central Europe began to herd cows about 7,500 years ago. Evidence suggests that the use of dairy was present in Southeast Europe soon after the arrival of farming. White milk proteins were found in ceramic vases from ancient Europe after being discovered and then analyzed in a laboratory. Germanic and Celtic people practiced cattle dairying and drank fresh milk in large amounts. Romanians and Hungarians did not consume milk as a drink, but fermented it to make butter, cheese, and yogurt.
At nucleus_whatup, the nucleus asked, what caused pastoral populations to have a need for the ability to drink milk? So, during times of poverty, food and drink were scarce. Drinking milk allowed for drink to be supplied without killing an animal. The need for the ability to digest lactose was crucial because it allowed for people to survive off of animals without killing them.
At AP Bio Roswell, Debbie Lauder asked, should the lactase persistent gene be prevalent in one area, or was it more than one area at the same time? Well, it was prevalent in places where livestock was herded and more milk was consumed, rather than in places with less herding and therefore less milk consumed. It is plausible that the lactase persistent gene was prevalent in more than one area at the same time, yet it is much more likely that in these areas with lots of herding, such as Europe, that's where this gene was present.
At Brad Koblitz asks, is there a cultural/geographical origin of pastoralism? If so, which people/where was it? Well, pastoralism was a result of the Neolithic Revolution. People all over the world began domesticating animals. Basically, pastoralism was a quickly spreading idea that originated in not one single area. It can be concluded that the pastoralist population began in farming and herding populations.
A single pattern can be found explaining the genetics of lactose. For example, if a famine was prominent in a certain area and all the crops had died, people would have to look for another source of food. Let's say that people see a young calf drinking milk from its mother and ponder, why can't we drink that milk? So, most of the people drinking the milk would suffer from diarrhea and bloating, which would eventually lead to death. But there would be a very small amount of people that could digest and absorb the nutrients from the milk. These people would have been more likely to survive than the people who couldn't digest the milk, which means that they had a greater chance of reproduction than the people who couldn't digest the milk. This also means that they would pass on the gene that lets humans digest milk. This gene is known as the lactose persistence or lactose tolerance gene. Another explanation that water is easily contaminated, but milk is fresh and uncontaminated. This means that drinking milk was far safer than drinking water, which could lead to death, sickness, or disease.